Welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at The Dark Valley, the East Front campaign 1941 to 1945. Put out by GMT Games. This is the Deluxe edition. I think the original edition, I want to say it came out a couple of years back. They made a Deluxe edition. You can see it's in a big 3-inch box. It's got the mounted maps in it. Designed by Ted Racer. We're going to take a look at this bad boy. This is a very heavy box because it's got 2 mounted maps in it. Okay. This is a big game. It's going to take a while to play this one, I think, just because of the size and the scope of it, but no idea. We'll see. So the rulebook, oh, that's not bad. 28 pages of rules. And this is a very, very classic GMT rulebook. The text is very standard. Looks like they've got, when they're talking about icons and different concepts, they have them listed in color next to them. So not too bad there. We'll have a crack at those. I've heard this system is excellent, so I do have high hopes for this game. Scenario book. It looks like it has Barbarossa, Fall Blau, Operation Citadel, and Operation Bagration. So I'm sure you can play the whole thing if you wanted to, or you can play individual operations within this so that you aren't going to sit there for 4 days and play the same game. But then there's an extended example of playing here, which is very nice. So that's going to help us learn the rules. So I might be setting this one up and going through this nice and easily. And some nice designer notes from Ted as well. Okay, so this is nice. Just cool artwork. I always like artwork that's historical pictures. If you know my videos, I'm a big fan of that. I just think that's cool. The big T72. T34 72. Okay. We have here some play aids. Alright, there's a few here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, to start with, we have 2, these are identical play aids, so you have 1 for each player. Combat results, A and B. So this is used by Axis, and then on Soviets. Interesting. And then, so this is early war. And this is late war. Oh, that's interesting. But it looks like they flip-flop. So I don't know if this table is better than this table. But the Germans will use this table early, and then this table later on. And the Soviets will use this turn early and this turn later on. So that's interesting how that's going to work out. Combat results explanation, bombard table, and then we got terrain effects chart that you'd expect. These are identical. Each player's going to have one of those. We have here sequence of play. Very, very happy about this. Just breaks down all the different steps. Doesn't explain the rules, but it says, Axis reinforcement, Axis replacement. So there's structure, which means you can keep it ticking along. I do really enjoy that. Action chits availability. I think this is a chit pull type game. I'm not entirely convinced about that. It has action chits at least. 1 move, 1 combat, any 1 Panzer Army. Stavka, 1 move, 1 combat Shukov. Interesting. We'll see how that plays out. Axis replacements, Axis conversions, Axis withdrawal, Soviet replacements, Soviet conversions. Special rules reminders. Ooh, please, 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 please. Every game that has special rules, please include this. Because the amount of times that you forget a rule, because if there's a special rule that's like 15 turns into the game, I'm getting into the game, I might forget that special rule because I didn't look at it in the rulebook, but having this out is going to be very nice. And more additional rules reminders, so this is a nice little play aid to have handy for tricky situations that I might need to look at the rules real quick, and little special rules. Very, very, I'm a big fan of that. I think that's going to be an excellent play aid. We have here a lot of counters. This is, like I said, a big game. There's 4 full counter sheets and a half counter sheet here. So Alright. This sheet, this is a half sheet. So you have German infantry, German panzers, and then you've got Russian infantry, Russian panzers, Baltic, Stalingrad, yep. Then you have some British units, some American units, Hungarians, Romanians, Yugoslavians, Turks, SW. I don't know what SW is. I should know that. And those are reduced sides of those, it looks like. More German infantry, German panzers, these are all Panzer IVs, Italian infantry, Bulgarian infantry, oh, an Italian tank, a rarity, Romanian infantry. And this is Russian infantry, Russian tanks, US, Commonwealth, British, Free French, Turks, Hungarians. I don't know what the SW is. Someone tell me in the comments. These are probably just control markers and a bunch of different markers. I don't know if these are... Yeah, so you got supply, replacement type markers, and a bunch of... I don't exactly know, but a bunch of markers there with vents. So these are German and these are Russian. I wonder if these are for a particular scenario. Yes, yes they are. So this is Barbarossa to Berlin. Well, that's interesting. It says here Barbarossa to Berlin, Barbarossa to Berlin. Whereas these are the Dark Valley, sheets 1, 2, and 3. I do wonder if those were erroneously included. I'm not sure. Maybe that's one of the, is that one of the scenarios? I don't think so. I don't know if this is supposed to be in there. Well, they're cool looking, that's for sure. Because these are definitely for this game. All these German units are in this cool field green or field grey color. This is a really nice color. Something different. Then you've got Panzer IVs. That's a Panzer III. Panthers, Tigers. That's like that. A bunch of infantry, a ton of infantry. Are these Martyrs, I believe? You got SS units here. Panthers, Tiger II. These are Totenkopf. And then you've got some Luftwaffe Air Force pieces here as well. I don't want to say these are Romanians. They say Arnhem, Romanian Air Force. Hungarians. Oh, it even says here, yep, there you go. Italians. These do also have a reduced sight on some of them. These are the action markers here. I don't know if these go on a cup, but this is you use action markers to do things. All the Russian tan units, an ungodly amount of infantry. And then here we've got a bunch of variations of T-34s. Is effectively what that is. A lot of these say things like reserve on them or have different names, which looks like they're probably cities that they set up in or will get placed into. And the last one, these are the out of supply control markers. And oh, these red ones. Oh, these are guards units, right? So you have guards infantry, guards tanks. These are the huge T-34-72s down here. And these are even tank destroyers. Russian Air Force. Fortresses destroyed markers, and then again the German versions on the back there. So I think these are. I think there's only 3 counter sheets supposed to be in here. Let's check on the back. Back of the box says 3 sheets of thicker counters. So I presume they're thicker than they used to be. And a bonus 2 22 by 34 inch mounted maps with new map art, and a bonus Barbarossa to Berlin map. So there's an extra map in here to play with those other counter sheets, I guess. Well, that's fascinating. these are the mounted map boards. There's 2 of them in this, and we'll crack these out here in a second. Because the rest of this is 2 nice colored dice, Russian and German. And an insert which we will get rid of. So let's take a look at the map, because this is a big part of the deluxe version. I don't know if that Barbarossa de Berlin is an extra game or not. But if it is, you get a bonus game in this, I guess, that you may not have gotten in the original. And this has got some updated artwork on these huge mounted boards. Okay. Let's open this up here. Ah, yes. Fascinating. Okay. This is pretty cool and very exciting. So, the boards go lengthwise up and down. Let's see if I can't. Nope, can't get any more in there. And as you might expect, let's just check here. Who designed the map? Artwork, art director, games like map art. It's Simonage, obviously. It looks like a Simonage map. But it's pretty much what you would expect, right? Especially from Simonage. Very clear, lots of hexes. It's Russia, so it's kind of beige. Up top here, you go all the way to the north. You've got some swampy marsh areas, some dense forest, things like that. All the way down to the Black Sea. Okay, so this goes up and down, and then the next one will go next to it on this side. But I think you saw that Barbarossa de Berlin mess that I'm playing around with is printed on the back of this map, which this might be the coolest thing ever. This is an old game from 2010 that GMT put out, and they printed it on the back of one of these maps, so you get a whole extra game on here, which is Barbarossa de Berlin, as you can imagine. So we'll use those other pieces. This is a point-to-point game. Let's see if those are rules. Fascinating. If those are in here. Boy, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. I've got the pieces to play with this, so I'm hoping that there's a rule set somewhere or something like that, but this is pretty cool nonetheless. You get the whole game in here, so we plan with that. Try that out as well. Here's the other map. Okay, and this one, will I go the right around? No, okay. So this map goes on this side and it joins on this edge. So this one goes as far as Prague and Dresden and Berlin. It's literally on the edge here. So you're playing really from Berlin all the way over. That's how big this map is. So this is not a game for the faint of heart. This is going to take you a long time to play, I believe. There are 44 game turns, it looks like. And it's a chip pull track, so it is activated by chips, which is a nice little VP track over there. Mini terrain identification chart down here at least, and some holding boxes on the side. So this is a huge game. My table will barely fit this table here. But we will make this work, because this is a very exciting title. One that I've had recommended to me a lot. And having a nice fancy pants version is going to be nice to sit down and actually set up and play over a weekend. So I'll have to send my family away on a vacation so that I can play this one. So this is a look at, let me get it, the Deluxe edition of the Dark Valley, which also has all this Barbarossa de Berlin stuff in it. I didn't see a rule book unless that's in here. I'm not sure. I didn't see anything about that, so maybe that's something that I can download, some rules. Operation. Not sure. But there's a whole other game in this box as well, so that's exciting. You're getting your money's worth, that's for sure. So appreciate you guys tuning in, and I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.